I'm sat here now with Captain Sensible, guitarist of The Damned. Hello, Captain Sensible, how are you today?
Oh, not too bad. It's a shocking stage name, isn't it, Captain Sensible? My advice to anyone out there is get yourself a decent one, because you might have to live with it 35 years.
Can I ask to begin with where you got that name from?
Well, it's ironic, of course. I couldn't believe that not only do you get paid, but you get free beer as well. And I used to make sure I drank every bottle of beer that was in the dressing room from the word go, you know. So consequently, I behaved extremely badly on a frequent occasion. So I ended up with a stupid Sensible name, because I wasn't at all sensible. I was just a drunken Burke.
All right, okay. I'll get on to some of sort of the meatier questions. In some form or another, The Damned have now been together for about 34 years, with 10 studio albums produced. How did you do that? You know, what would you attribute the longevity to?
Well, I kind of like twanging a guitar. It's a fairly enjoyable way to make a living, especially when you consider I was a bog cleaner once, and I used to have to clean 14 toilets a day for Croydon Corporation.
God.
Which is quite good, because I saved enough money to buy a nice big amplifier. So, but when you've done a rotten job like that, there's really no going back. Yeah, I don't have any other skills in the world. I can play the guitar and I can clean toilets, and I know which one I'd rather do.
Oh, okay, fair enough. What's the most rock and roll thing you've ever seen or done while being in a band?
Well, I don't know if you listeners want to hear about drugs debauchery, so I won't go into that. We did have when you do tours, you play tricks on the other bands. After about 3 or 4 weeks on the road with each other, you want them to remember you. So you tend to do things like put a large smelly mackerel in their bass drum, so that if they don't touch the drums for like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, the next time they open it, it'll be like sort of crawling with maggots, and the stench will be so bad. They have to get a new drum kit, stuff like that. But I do remember a support band getting pissed off with us because of our antics, and they went to a farm before the last gig on the tour, and they bought 4 sacks of rotting manure, and they proceeded to run on stage with these sacks of manure, and they smothered it all over us. We were fighting them with this manure, and then the audience got some as well.
Oh God!
And the PA people were absolutely furious, because their PA was covered with brown gunge as well.
Okay.
That was the Ruts. They were an excellent support act.
Yeah, I've heard about them before. The cover of Eloise, originally by Paul Ryan, that got to number 3 in the UK charts, was obviously covered by you. Do you have any dream covers, or covers that you'd like to do on stage that you haven't had the opportunity to beforehand?
Crikey. There are some songs that I've got on a kind of little list that I'd like to do cover versions of, yeah. But
is there any that stand out sort of in particular that you'd...
I don't know. I'd like to do See Emily Play by, the old Pink Floyd song. Yeah. It's before Pink Floyd became a kind of corporate kind of estate agent music. No disrespect to estate agents, because I might want to buy a house at some point. But Pink Floyd used to be a reasonably raunchy kind of pop psychedelia act, and they turned into something else. See Emily Play's a classic.
Yeah, okay. Kind of on that same subject, are there any sort of bands or songs that you like listening to when you're not on the road and sort of on your own?
Well, like Jimmy Page, I don't listen to anything remotely rock when I'm when I'm not on stage. I don't want to listen to anything loud. I don't want to hear riffs. I don't want to hear guitar solos, anything like that, because that's what I do. A plumber doesn't go home and sort of play with pipes. So I listen to stuff like the Carpenters and ABBA.
Okay.
And I think the Carpenters was Jimmy Page's favourite.
Okay. Sort of a couple of, I'm going to aim some of the questions at helping sort of the children here at Livewire and the youths that come here. how would you normally go about starting writing a new song with the band? Is there one person that puts things forward, or is it generally sort of a bit of a mashup? Or
We all start with our own idea, and then we take it to the band, and it gets chopped around a little bit.
okay,
I think that's just, every song that the Beatles wrote was pretty much was under the name Lennon and McCartney, but they used to write individually, and then they'd play it to the other one, and it'd get fine-tuned a little bit. But I think everyone who writes songs does it slightly differently. Some people start with the words, some start with the music, some start with both. You start with maybe a little chorus. The way I start writing a tune is to get a chorus, a melody, and I try and write some decent words for it, that mean something. Can't be done with boy meets girl songs. The world's got enough of them. But there's enough topics and stuff in the newspapers to write songs about. Really, it's a mad world, and you can't read a paper without getting angry these days. So so there's plenty of stuff to to write words about, and then the song generally flows from that. And if it doesn't, I'll throw it away.
Okay, fair enough. You recorded The Damned Sticky Nightmare at the 2,000 capacity Shepherd's Bush Empire about 7-8 years ago now.
Yeah.
Tonight you're playing to 250 people. What's the biggest and smallest gigs you've ever played?
Oh, blimey. You do some festivals and stuff with extremely large audiences, and then then I play my local pub in Brighton, maybe to about 30 people. So it's anything in between, really.
Would you say that there's sort of one of them's more important than the other, or do you prefer larger or smaller gigs?
Well, large is very impersonal, and I don't think I personally would outlaw gigs above the capacity of about anything over about 3,000 is too much, because it's you can't really see the band from the back of the room. And watching, and having the band on big screens at the side of the stage like they have at these festivals, I think is a cop-out, because you might as well stay at home and watch them on TV.
Okay, yeah, I'd support that.
Yeah, I think small venues is obviously the way to watch a band. You can't beat it.
Okay, one last question. If you had one piece of advice to give to anybody who wanted to go far in the music industry, what would that be?
I would advise everyone to practice their songwriting, because at the end of the day, the songwriter can't get sacked.
Okay.
I'd also advise people not to expect to get rich anytime soon, because it only happens to, about 1% of musicians in Britain. I certainly didn't get rich, I've got a reasonable lifestyle, but, no vast sacks of money stashed away anywhere like Ken Dodd or whatever. What else would I advise? Do something, dare to be different. Yeah, don't copy what's trendy, because round the corner something new might be happening and you might be at the vanguard of that. If you're in a loud rock band, do something strange like get a harpsichord in or an oboe or something like that. Just do something a little bit different. And I think music should. There's a lot of in our band and the road crew. Certain people, like our drummer, he likes metal. He likes Metallica, stuff like that. But I personally, from the other side, I like melody. So maybe it comes together. It's a lovely blend of melody and kind of rock.
Okay.
So I don't think you can have one without the other. And when you have too much rhythm and too much noise, I think like this lot, I think it can be a little bit grating. You've got to have some beauty in there.
Okay. Captain Sensible of The Damned, thank you very much.
Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Can I have the check now?